much. Good morning, Franklin County. This is our May 13th, 9 a.m. work session, and please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I believe we have Mrs. Rome here to give the blessing this morning.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm a member of the Interfaith Council, and I'm reading a Baha'i prayer this morning for America. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees, and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great thy bounty and bestowal.
Thank you very much. Before we start today, we're going to do a moment of silence. Unfortunately, Sherry, or Squire Sebastian, lost her brother-in-law, Chuck Moore, and former Lieutenant Governor Crit Llewellyn lost her husband, Lynn Llewellyn. It's your family member there, Squire Blackburn. So if everybody would please join us in a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. We'll keep them in our thoughts and prayers, guys. Alrighty, public comments. Do we have any public comments this morning? Seeing no public comments, I believe Mr. Mike Dees with the Road Department is here to give us an update.
How are y'all doing this morning? I guess
Hey, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
pretty good.
Good.
For us, it's just been a lot of routine maintenance. We've started doing our roadside mowing, replacing a lot of old dilapidated entrance pipes and stuff like that, and just tree limbs, yard waste. So a lot of routine stuff for us right now.
Good deal. How got court? Anybody have any court for Mike with us this morning? We're showing pictures now, so we're trying to catch up. That first picture was of the container. So as we're working on the new driving range over there at the new park, Charlie decided to get a container to keep all of our stuff in, locked, safe, and sound. So they were able to move it to its new home yesterday. So I appreciate y'all doing that. Just on that same property. They just had to sneak it around the back a little bit more, but there was guy wire, so when the truck brought it, they couldn't get it back there. So they had to see, they got it back. That's the home. Yeah, exactly. But it's been in the parking lot, but you can't see it in the pictures, but the utility lines are just right above it, so they weren't able to dump it the way they wanted to. So she was a little heavy, huh? Some big pieces of equipment there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what questions do we have for Mike and the Road Department? As always, I just want to thank y'all. I mean, y'all doing a great job. I mean, it's nice to see when people give us compliments. I think the one thing people forgot about, the whole pothole thing, some people don't realize that asphalt's not year-round. The asphalt plant opens up usually in mid-April, so that's one thing. And then I think people forget that we had one of the worst winters we've had in a long time. I think you all ended up putting about 3,000 tons of salt just on county roads. So it's interesting how people forget about all that. They just see today's problem. So I appreciate everything y'all are doing. Anything from Mike while he's here? So, Mike, you're going to leave here, go get our van for our road trip? Mm-hmm. Good deal.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you very much. All righty, judge's report. On the 30th, there was a ribbon cutting. There's a new Monticello Bank on the west side of town. I believe Andrew has a picture coming up. Huge crowd. I think it's a bank out of Somerset. Chris Rooks, Brad Smithers, I know they've been working there for a while on getting that open, so we welcome them to our community. On the 1st, there was a big ribbon cutting at Completely Kentucky. Very cool to see an employee that's worked there for a long time buy it from Ann. So it's nice to see that business will continue on for many, many years. There's a lot going on in St. Clair. Ribbon cutting for the Kentucky Hug. It's a new bourbon bar. A lot of y'all remember it used to be where the brick alley was. So it's a very nice place. A local gentleman, David, bought it and is running it, so he's excited. And I talked to him last week, and he says, I don't think people realize how many visitors are in our town. He said, I'm just floored by the amount of people that are in this bar. So, and I think he's doing a little jazz music or something like that. So we wish them all the luck in the world. And then there was a soft open in Benson Valley right across the street from that. It used to be a music store and a couple other things, barbecue place, but Benson Valley that you all are familiar with down there, the distillery, is opening a tasting room, so they're excited. It was a very, very nice place, and I think they're going to do very well. So we welcome them and wish them all the luck in the world. On the 9th, you all know, everybody was pretty much there. Our 231st birthday bash. I want to thank Squire Sebastian. She put a whole lot of work into it, along with some of us. But beautiful thing about that is we got sponsorships. It didn't cost the community anything. We got sponsorships to pay for anything. The Sheriff's Department, I want to thank Sheriff Dwayne Depp. They brought hoggies out there and did ice cream for everybody. Charlie, our Parks Director, can't thank him enough. He cooked, how many, Charlie? 428? 428 hot dogs. So he didn't stop. He went all day, 3 hours straight. So, and there's a lot of nonprofits there. I'm going to let Squire Sebastian talk for a minute about it. But it was a great event. Couldn't ask for better weather. And I think the community really, really, really enjoyed it. So, Squire, you say a few words about it, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. You know, from top to bottom, the Lakeview Park staff did a phenomenal job getting the park ready, with some assistance from the road department, which is great. Truly collaborative event, because we not only had a lot of nonprofits there, the city came and set up Bike Safety Town. There's Charlie right there, working that hot dog magic. Sheriff's Office provided assistance to us at all of the bouncy houses and kind of kept that in order and in line, which was phenomenal. We had churches, 501c3s there, doing different things, everything from face painting to giving away. Had a lot of giveaways, so that was great.
Yeah.
We again were able to work with Mike and Wanda Johnson, and have to thank them so very much for letting us use Mr. Bogey's 1919 International Harvester Titan for the train. And we have to put the spotlight on our own Squire Blackburn, because one of the final things Mr. Bogey was working on with that train was to build a caboose out of wood. And
I should have put a picture of that.
Tom did not give him
Yeah.
the luxury of finishing what he started.
Yeah.
So Squire Blackburn stepped up and said, I can do that. He did it with all wood that was already there, scrap wood, but it looked like $1 million. So I will send Andrew a picture.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
And then we will get that up shortly. So I can't thank everybody. You know, those of you who all came out, thank you all so much.
Yeah.
It was great. And I've heard from so many people since then about what a wonderful thing it was. Spotlight on what the park can be. Spotlight on the park, what the park should be for families here in our own community to come out and enjoy a day.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Hey, Andrew, Squire Sebastian's going to send you a picture. When we get into other business, I want to get that picture up there and praise Squire Blackburn a little bit. It's a very cool thing. I think everybody needs to see it.
Awesome.
So, all right, thank you. On the 11th, we had the ribbon cutting of the John G. Carlisle Cafe at Buffalo Trace. A lot of people attended. It's pretty cool, because when that place was built in 18-something, that was really the function of it when they built it. There was a cafe there for the distillery. And so as they, that's not it, but it was. But it was a great event. It's in the clubhouse. It's on the lower level. I believe they're still going to use the upstairs for some seating and smaller events. But it's a very, very nice cafe, and I know it's going to do very well. So we appreciate Buffalo Trace and all they do in our community. On the 11th, I also had a Bluegrass Action Community Board meeting. Went very well. Yesterday, spoke at the Laser. It's a workforce readiness incentive for high school students, graduation. Amazing group of kids there. It was a pilot program. Esprit Credit Union, I want to thank John and his staff. They sponsored it. It was kind of uncharted waters. It's basically getting these kids ready for the workforce. It went very well. I think it went better than they anticipated. Esprit Credit Union has already committed to sponsoring next year more students, and they're going to do Western Hills and Franklin County next year because they've got it figured out now. But the kids that started with it stuck with it, and I just want to thank the chamber and everybody that was involved with that. Last night also, and some of us were there, was the first annual Bowls of Love Spring Soup Supper at the Capital City Activity Center. What an amazing thing. Marshall and them knocked it out of the park. She said it was kind of their alternative to the fish fry they used to do, or some people do. People come in. She said there were students, there were seniors, there was everybody throughout the year basically, and we just paint bowls. She said one lady painted, I think, 70 bowls total. But there was 300 there. Squire Sebastian, did they sell out? I know they were close.
We had about 20 tickets left.
Yeah.
Right at.
Yeah, so there wasn't much. I know they're going to bump it up to 400 next year, but it was an amazing thing. Want to thank the restaurants, too many to thank, but some of them sent staff too, but they all made little burgers, chili, sandwiches. It was just a really, really cool event.
Bread, desserts.
Yeah, they had everything there. So they did an amazing job. So hats off to Marshall and her staff and all the volunteers that helped with that. So with that, that's my judge's report. We're going to go ahead and keep moving. Next agenda item is the approval of minutes from our regular meeting of April 29, 2026. Any concerns, comments on that agenda item? Seeing none, the next is the authorization to approve the county clerk's claim for calculation of motor vehicles and boat bills for 2026. I know Mr. Hancock is busy now with election stuff, getting fired up tomorrow. He talked to us. It's pretty much something that we get every year. I don't think there's anything special about it, so going to keep moving. Next, we have a guest. We have Kim Marshall from Next Door, and she's here. She has a couple agenda items. Come on up and tell us what you have. The first one is the first reading of ordinance amending 7-2002 and 8-2000 series related to the fiscal court filing fees in Franklin County. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm here to ask for a first reading of this affiliation agreement between Fiscal Court and the Franklin County Crime Stoppers. I recently had an audit by the Administrative Office of the Courts, and this is something they asked for. And the previous judge executive was, I don't know how long ago it was signed, but it was signed, and I need to. They're asking for a more.
It's a formality because of the audit. We got a lot of
Yes.
audits. Yeah.
That's
What do
all
you
I'm
say?
here for.
Also, the banking information changed as well.
Oh, okay.
That's true. Yeah.
All right.
That was the only two changes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Max. All righty. Any?
Changes
Go ahead.
exactly, we didn't have any markups on the pages from the previous
The
time.
ordinance as it was originally written, I think AOC just wanted new signatures for some reason.
Yes.
And the banking information, it changed from one institution to another. So from the original ordinance, all it is they want up-to-date signatures and the banking information changed. Everything else is the same. Same fee schedule, same everything.
All righty. So that's, your two agenda items kind of bleed together then, don't they, Kim?
They do.
Pretty much same thing for
Yes.
4 and 5.
Yes.
All right, does the court have any concerns, comments, questions, or anything for Kim or Max on that? Squire Wisman, do you have something?
It just is the same with the other documents.
As far as
fee
the one, as
structure.
far as the fees, the only difference in that one is AOC wanted fresh signatures, and that was it. It was the same ordinance as
Same.
written and adopted by the fiscal court years ago. They just wanted, for some reason, I guess an old ordinance isn't as good as a new ordinance,
Yeah, I
which
don't understand either.
I would disagree with, but.
But I do too.
All righty. Kim, thank you.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you
have a
very
great
much.
day.
Thank you. You
All
all
righty.
too. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe our next agenda item, I think Aaron's running behind. Is Aaron hiding over there anywhere? She's on her way, okay, she's running behind, so we're gonna, but when we do come back to Aaron's, when she gets here, we had to add, as you all can see, we had to amend the agenda. The last agenda item is hers also, so when she gets here, we'll go ahead and clump those together, if that's okay with everybody. Next, I believe Belinda's with us, maybe not, yeah, maybe. Jenny, would you mind getting Belinda for us? Not sure. While we're waiting on her, let's go ahead and jump on. So, this next one, Mike went to go get the van for us, but these next two, and Jack can answer anything here. I guess this is authorization to advertise for sealed bids for the diesel and the salt. Max, can I ask you a clarification question? I didn't think we had to bring just something to advertise in front of the court. Is that
With
changed?
the change in the admin code that was just adopted now, all bids that are going out to be advertised have to be brought in front of the court. That was a change that was in front of the court first. Then whenever the bids are open, to come in front of the court again to be approved. That was your all's request.
I personally think that's a misinterpretation of what we thought we were putting in there, because I thought that Sherry and I discussed that pretty lengthily. We're talking about construction projects and not bidding rock or gravel or blacktop or fuel, because it says authorization to bid. It doesn't say accept it, doesn't say anything else.
I think there had been some concerns in meeting pasts that bids were going out without the court's awareness.
I
And
may
they were
be on a
being brought,
construction project.
and so I think that came on the heels of some of those.
What? That's what this says. Authorization to advertise.
Well, let's, just so we don't
So
get
we're
bogged.
gonna have to authorize to advertise.
Yeah, and I didn't think we were doing that anymore. I thought we got away from that because it was an extra step and it was slowing things down. So, I'm with you, Squire. I mean,
I believe,
However, it's on our agenda.
Yeah,
so let's go ahead
yeah,
and-
we'll go ahead and do it. Listen,
Completely
next,
disagree.
next meeting or whatever, we're gonna open the thing back
We
up
can
and we can discuss it then. That'd be fine. Sorry, Belinda, one second. So this is just, these next two line items are as they seem, for our road department. They're gonna advertise for the, diesel and diesel and then the bulk salt, material for winter time. So does anybody have any, anything to talk about for that before we get Belinda back up? All righty. Belinda, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I hope you guys are all well.
Absolutely.
So this is also authorization to advertise.
This is too much.
yes,
So
Okay.
this is for, we were awarded a COPS SVPP grant for the purchase and installation of access control equipment in partnership with the Franklin County Schools. And this is authorization to advertise for the equipment, essentially.
Okay. Any questions for Belinda on this agenda item to advertise for this, grant? Squire Wisman.
Thanks. Belinda, do we have, I don't remember having it, I couldn't find in my notes previously, do we have some kind of agreement or a letter promising from the Franklin County Schools to?
We do.
To meet the match of the
Yes, we do.
$77,000? So they've committed and approved it through their board?
They committed it. We have a letter from
Okay.
the superintendent, and then before I brought it to you guys to accept it, I reconfirmed with him that they were still on board, and he agreed that, yes.
That's my only concern. Thanks.
Sure.
Belinda, thank you. Next, I believe Amy is with us, our county treasurer. Good morning, Amy. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. Your first agenda item is treasurer's report.
Yes, I have the revenue and expense report as of May 8th. At our last meeting, I had told you that our occupational tax office was busy bringing in revenue. I'm happy to report that our payroll tax, as well as insurance premium tax, we've collected the budgeted amount.
That's great news. Alrighty, your next is second reading.
This is the second reading of budget amendment number 4. It has been approved by the Department of Local Government. This is an increase of $3.3 million, bringing our budget to $73.9 million. And the budget excluding capital expenses increases by 3.3, bringing it to 52.2. This is the second reading.
And just for clarification, you said DLG's already signed off on this?
They have?
Thank you. All righty, any questions for Amy on this agenda item? All righty, next.
The next item is budget transfers. These are from the general fund, road, jail, and fire. In your abstract, I have all of the details as to why we're doing a budget transfer. And this is just between expense accounts. It doesn't affect the overall budget.
Okay, any questions for Amy on this agenda item? Squire Wisman?
Judge, can we take a step back just real quick to the last agenda item, the budget fiscal year 25-26? Just wondering where that's available for the public to download and review. Is it on our website, or where can the public find it?
I'm not
If
sure.
anybody knows.
I don't know if it's available until after we voted.
I do advertise that we're having the reading, and it's always available if they,
We're required to usually put it in the newspaper, aren't we?
Yes.
Fully. Is that one out yet?
yes,
As ready?
it was advertised.
Yeah, just verify. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the first reading.
Okay. All right. It should be on the website. If it's not, then we'll get it up there today.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
It'd be after the first reading.
Yep.
Today's the first reading.
Yep. That's what I thought, because it was still a working document. Yep. See, I'm learning.
Second
This
reading.
is the second reading,
So this is a second reading.
Is this the second?
and,
Yeah.
and it has been advertised.
Okay, perfect. All righty. Keep rolling, Amy.
Okay, so budget transfers we just went over. Okay, ready to move on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next, authorization to open 2 CDs. I've been investing the accumulated interest from the ARPA funds, so I'd like to reinvest that, $770,000 for 3 months. And then I have a 6-month CD that's coming due, and I'd like to reinvest that for 3 months.
Squire Blackburn, microphone, please.
Amy,
He's so predictable.
I love it.
He's so predictable.
Can you
isn't he?
tell us how much we've made in our...
I'm ready for you to. It took me a while to be ready, didn't it?
I thought it was going to be something different until I saw that smirk, and I'm like, okay, I know
No,
what it is.
she knows it's coming.
So, interest to date for this fiscal year, $630,000, and we budgeted for $596,000. So we've gone above our budget.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right. Amy, you got another?
Okay, this is our first reading of the budget for fiscal year 26-27. The proposed budget is $58,684,590. Excluding capital expenses and federal projects, $46,677,590. Since I presented it last meeting, I have increased it for the fire truck that was ordered this fiscal year for $885,000. In discussions with Chief Brewer, we don't believe that fire truck is going to be ready until the new fiscal year, so I went ahead and put that in this upcoming budget. I did make the changes that were requested, and that should be in your support on your packet. There were some changes to the opioid funding as well as outside agency fundings. I've also increased, and Aaron will get into this later, I've increased the budget for the work that will be done at the Judicial Center. We will get reimbursed by AOC, so I increased the revenue and increased the expenses.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Amy on this agenda item? Okay.
The next item goes along with our budget. This will be submitted to the Department of Local Government as well. We are requesting these expenses that are listed here to be paid when due. payroll and utilities under KRS, we can go ahead and pay those, but these additional items, and this is something that I present to you all each year and send to DLG for approval.
Any questions for Amy on this agenda item? Amy, you have a lot of agenda items
I
today.
know.
Wow. You keep moving.
Okay. And the next agenda item, it goes with the budget as well. This is, this budget year 26-27 is a new term as effective January 1. So we are restricted on how much we can spend of our budget. So I am requesting a waiver for the items in your abstract. It lists all of the items, mainly capital projects. We have about 6 projects: Forks of the Elkhorn, Judicial Center Restoration, Farmers Lane Bridge, Farmdale Sanitation, Lakeview Park Phase 1, and the new park development at Buena Vista. Also increasing a waiver of 50% for our insurance premiums for liability and workers' comp, as well as we have several vehicles that we ordered this fiscal year that will not be ready until fiscal year 27. So I'm requesting a waiver. This will be submitted to Department of Local Government for approval.
All right, any questions for Amy?
They use that to estimate what our upcoming expenses will be. The amount is $446,900. That will be divided into 4 quarterly payments. We do an audit after the year end, and if there's any excess, they will reimburse us.
This is something we do every year, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Any questions for Amy on this agenda item?
Can I go back one?
You sure can, Squire. Go ahead.
On
Which
our-
one, just to make sure we're all on the same page?
I want to go back to the 65% issue
Okay.
where you asked the Department of Local Government for waivers on some of those projects. Is that fairly routine? Do you anticipate any pushback from the department?
I don't. In their budget meeting that they had, especially the capital projects, these were the examples they gave. Capital projects, insurance, 50% of that, because we pay up front, and the vehicles, there's the long order wait there. Those are examples they gave that we could ask for.
Okay. It's a good question, Squire. Thank you. Okay, so any other questions for Amy on the last agenda item she's presenting? Alrighty. Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next I believe we have payment of claims with our clerk, Ms. Kim. Does anybody have any questions on payment of claims for Kim this morning? Alrighty, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and jump into closed session per KRS 61.8101F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We're in closed. tell us when we're ready? Alrighty, do I have a motion to go back into open?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we're in open session. Next agenda item is with our, about the agreement with Taylor Services, Franklin County Courthouse and other county buildings. Mr. Craig, would you like to talk about that?
All this really does is just change the road department agreement. We're just going to 1 day a week down there, starting July 1.
So the rest agreement's the same, just a
Yeah,
change on
everything
that
else
one
stays the
building like we had
same.
talked
It's
about
just a
budget?
change for that,
Yep.
to shrink the budget a little bit, I believe. They believe they can
Yeah.
handle it a little bit better.
Yep,
And it's just the administration building that's clean down there as well.
yep. Alrighty, any questions on Greg about that agenda item? Alrighty, next. Oh, another advertisement. Alright, next, Greg?
This is just for us, this is asking permission for us to RFP for the painting of this building and the clerk's building, hopefully here soon.
And we have that in this year's budget, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Do you think if we get that out, say today, and get it back in here, that they can, will the work be complete by the end of this budget year?
I think we can get it done, yes.
Okay. Alrighty, any questions for Greg on this agenda item? Squire Wisman.
Greg, can you walk us through the scope of the project? Well, a couple of things that struck me in here, that, pressure washing on a historic masonry building is a big no-no. Generally, you don't want to impart water, and it doesn't specify paint types, and specifically this building, the paint that's on the front of it is over stone that really is kind of causing some damage and needs to be removed rather than being repainted, so just kind of wanted to see, it just says exterior. I'm not sure what level or scope. I realize the sides of these buildings are painted along the alleyways, and if you could just walk us through a little bit.
Anything that is actually painted right now will also go back to the color that it is right now as well. We're not, because the color change would cost significantly more. And the power washing will be light power washing on it. It won't actually, they're just there to help get the debris off from the paint that's peeling right now. And then there's also masonry work in there for tuck pointing or anything like that, for just any minor stuff that needs to be addressed at that point after they power wash. Then they will go through and paint everything.
Okay. Judge, I'm really caution us not to complete some of this work. I'm a little concerned that we're advertising for painting, but there's a potential for pointing some of the building, and you never kind of know what's going to be discovered until you start getting into some of that. And I really think we need to consider taking the paint off of this building on the stonework that you can see right by our front door, that it's causing some movement in the stone around those lights and things that are there, an explosion because water's being held in. So I'd be happy to advise a little bit more on that if we want to.
Greg,
it doesn't necessarily have to hold up the bid, but we might tailor the bid a little bit differently.
I think we were going to repair those spots and get that back to where it was or is right now. That's decision, if y'all want to paint or not paint the buildings, that's on y'all. I do believe if we probably try to take the paint off the building completely, it's going to cost tremendously more, and we will not be able to do it this year. So that's up to y'all. But
How much stone is out there that?
it's a good amount. The problem is it's if you really start trying to take that off, it's going to deteriorate the stone in some areas versus if you.
The entire of the front of this building, all of the brown that's painted is stone that should have never, ever been painted because it just holds moisture in it, and the freeze and thaw likes to deteriorate and bust, that kind of thing. Now, the sides of these buildings are brick, and the building next door, part of that is actually stone as well, but the sides, of course, are painted over natural brick that typically you want breathable paints, not latex, and that's kind of part of my concern, no oil-based things that hold water in and moisture into masonry that makes it deteriorate some more. So, like I said, this is my background. I'd be happy to advise on sort of how the RFP could be written that would be least impactful, so.
Squire Sebastian.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. So I was just going to make a recommendation that when we draft up the RFP, that we keep those things in mind. Talk to the appropriate people. You know, we've got Heritage Council right here in our backyard. We've got preservation organizations right here. They can advise us on some language, and we'll get that in there. Move right on.
All right, if everybody's good with that, we'll spend some extra time on this advertisement before it goes out and make sure we get exactly what we need to get. All righty, and then Greg, you have another one? Anything you want to say about your maintenance technician that's up for hire?
He seems like he'd be a great asset to the county and to our team, so
Okay.
hope y'all push him through.
You ready for some more help, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. All righty.
Thank y'all.
And I do want to thank you personally for the cut through here that you did for the most of the squires on this side of the room. God
Yeah.
forbid something were to happen, so if
I
y'all
have
hadn't
thanked him
noticed.
mightily. I have
Yeah,
thanked him many
that's,
times.
yeah,
Well, it's a crazy world we live in, but it's nice to be able to have that if we need it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we don't ever have to, but it is there.
yeah. And I want to thank gentlemen in the back of the room for acknowledging that. We're trying to work on some other things to make us all safe in this crazy world that we're in, so. Alrighty, next, I believe we have Aaron with ER Assist. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bright and early, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. So you actually have 3 agenda items,
I do.
so let's just roll with all of them.
Okay. Do we need to go in order here? No, nothing is up there. Okay, so let's talk about the buyout first. So the good news is that the second group of properties in the buyout have been approved.
Oh, you're
through-
jumping around though, hold on. Your first agenda item was the Trace Creek.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you probably don't have our agenda in front of us.
I
You're just going,
don't.
yeah.
Okay.
We have to stay in order, or we get all weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just,
Okay.
yeah, so your first one is the contract with Trace Creek Construction Manager for the restoration, not to exceed $458,000.
Correct. So back in October, we did a selection committee. That selection committee advised on Trace Creek as being the construction manager for the courthouse project. And so things have gone back and forth with the Administrative Office of the Courts. They've approved the contract that we presented, so now we're presenting it to the Fiscal Court. And the not to exceed.
To make sure we're covered the right way. I think this is the one anyway. The advertisement speaks specifically to flood damage, but later on in the proposal, there's discussion of that grand staircase, which we've had in this court.
So that one is for the architect, I believe.
Okay.
Which is going to be the next item that we
Okay.
talk about.
All right, I'll wait till, or I can ask it now as related to
Just wait 2
that.
seconds. Let's get through this one to make sure. Anybody have any other questions for Aaron on the courthouse restoration project not to exceed $458,000? And that's all been approved by AOC, right?
Correct.
Yeah, just making sure
Yeah.
everybody realizes that, because we're ultimately a pass-through. All right, your next agenda item about the architects then.
Okay.
About the architects then.
Okay, and so then this is the one where your question is
Yes.
relevant. So this is for JRA Architects, and it's also for engineering as a subcontractor to JRA, and it's also for the courthouse. This is a not to exceed amount of $365,170. That does exclude the grand staircase, as you had mentioned previously. That amount was reduced. We do not have confirmation from AOC that that will be covered by them and is not a reimbursable expense through FEMA. So we have excluded that and reduced the contract amount based on the schedule of expenses that JRA submitted.
Squire, I do know it's been talked about in meetings, and they
Yeah.
really like to do it because it's a waste that, we have that huge, staircase that can't be used. So I think AOC
I know.
is trying to figure it out if they can come up with some money. And we had talked about potentially, if they do come up with it, it could be an alternate on the bid, just to kind of get some ideas and numbers as far as how we can use it or take that out and put something else there that can be used, because it's pretty silly. I can't believe when they built that place, they just let that go, whoever built it, but
Okay.
I'm not getting into that, so.
My concern was just that the bid, the public notice that was put out didn't specifically say that. It said specifically flood damages.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
concerned that we rebid appropriately if we needed to. So that was more the concerns.
Originally, I think they thought
needs
they
to
were
be
gonna be able
fixed.
to
It's
fund it, and
ridiculous.
then they said no, so, yeah, that's where we are.
Right, yeah.
Okay, any other questions for Aaron on that agenda item? Alrighty, and next is probably the one that everyone's most interested in, is the buyouts.
Buyout, yeah, so, like I was saying, as of Friday, last Friday, we did get the signed contract from NRCS to include Group 2 properties. So we've got 15 additional properties that have been added to the buyout. And we did go ahead and send that to the title contract company to start that process. So that had previously been contracted for all of the properties. One of the things that we did not contract for all of the properties was the environmental review due to cost. So this agenda item is to approve us pushing out a request for quote for the environmental reviews. Any questions?
Square with me.
Aaron, I know all of the properties have been notified, but we only approved the buyout for the first set. When do you expect the next group of that, I forget how many, to come back to us to approve the
So we actually did
match?
approval for all of them at the same time.
I thought we did not do the approval of appropriation for a match required for the buyouts of those.
So the match is going to be on the property owners unless we have a grant that will pay for that. So there's no expense to the fiscal court for that match. The amount that the fiscal court approved was for what we are considering administrative fees, which is the title search, the environmental review, including this item for today, the appraisal review. And those have already been approved for the full number of properties involved, so.
So right now, we're at like an 80-20, 80's federal government that's secured, and so we're lacking the 20%. I talked to James K. in Woodford County to see if he had heard anything on their match, because it's all coming out of the grant. It's actually the name of it, so we're trying to see if there's any confirmation that all of us were funded through that, so that's hopefully that 20% match. So Aaron and I just literally talked yesterday about that, trying to look into it to see, but James K. hadn't heard anything either, so
Yeah.
we're still trying, so.
Are any of the property owners not pursuing because of that match?
No one has said that they don't want to pursue because of it. So there's a $31,000 allowance that is added to the buyout offer. And so in a lot of cases, that $31,000 is going to cover most of the difference if the grant is not received. Of course, not for the higher end properties, but it will cover a lot, some of it. We are going to offer to anyone who wants to close without the match and just have that amount reduced. We can do
Okay.
that, so.
And so then, just for clarification, because I know we've been talking to one gentleman who wants to, because, he has a pretty big burden over him. So he can still close at the 80%, and let's say 2 months from now, we get the match, which we're hopeful for, we can still go back and give him his 20%.
Correct.
Correct? I just want to make sure
Yeah.
everybody understands that. So as we start to close these, hopefully next month, it's going to be at the 80%, but hopefully we, that grant was funded, and then we'll still be able to go back and do the paperwork to give them the balance. That's our intention, that's what we're really trying to do. But most of them are like, let's go ahead and take the 80% right now, because a lot of people still have debts with banks and things like that they're trying to get out of, so.
Yeah, it's an appraisal value based on the day before the flood happened,
Yep.
so it's,
Go ahead, Squire.
Just one other question. I wanted to, Aaron, I brought this up to you before, sort of the thought, once these are bought out, that they can never be developed in any way, sort of some of the rumors that persist about some of these.
Okay.
One in my district is over 100 acres that we've talked about, that I would really like to see some language, if we could, added to the deed about either what elements are non-buildable, and what other elements of a property could be, and/or what restrictions are firmly placed on the property. So there's
Sure.
that has not been, in my experience, in some of the properties I've looked at the city's past. Some of those buyouts 20 years ago, there was no specifiers in them. I don't know if it's allowed, but I would really like to see something, if we possibly can,
Yeah,
put into the deed language that follows those properties in perpetuity, so that specifically the one in, my district, that we might be able to do some kind of trail or recreational property facility, rather than just having 100 acres that's locked up indefinitely, so.
Right.
And then, of course, that's really the only one that it applies to in that manner, maybe specifically, but I could also see, maybe some future access point to the river or something off of some of these other
I'm talking
properties.
to a group right now, we're trying to become the first paddle community or something, and they're wanting to talk about some access in between the
Yeah,
two
I'm on that
lots.
advisory board too.
So, yeah, we can talk about that. I'm assuming a lot of it's just federal guidelines, but if, yeah, we need to talk about that.
But if there's
Yeah.
any flexibility to add some
Yeah.
language about use for some other purpose.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, what questions do we have for Erin on the buyouts? Because she's the one that's handling all of them. Bar Sebastian, anything? I know you're deep into them.
I
Most
am.
of most of these are in your district, that's
They're-
why I'm asking you.
99%.
Yeah, exactly,
I have
so.
that.
We've
99
talked to
point-
some of your constituents
point.
personally, so that's what
Yep.
we've been trying to address.
Yeah.
But,
They have been calling me as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
I have no doubt we're
Yeah.
across
we're all right there, it's a kind of waiting
communication,
game.
which
and-
is exactly.
Yeah, and we're trying to start scheduling, hopefully next month, start closing some of these.
Which will be phenomenal.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, and anybody in the community is welcome to reach out to me
Yeah,
personally as well.
absolutely. Erin, thank you for all your work on this. I know it's a lot, but that's what
Sure.
y'all do, and that's why we hired you, so
You bet.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next, I believe, is other business. Andrew, do you have that picture? Pictures, plural.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Looky there. So I believe when Squire Blackburn got it, it was the frame pretty much. Tell us a little bit about it, Jay.
When I got it, it had the chassis, the tube steel and the wheels, and it had some really rough oak that was very heavy. And so I used white pine and had some wood that Lions donated me about 10 years ago that I used clear pine for the roof and did a little barrel style there, and then did a little cupola on it. And then I got some wrought iron rings that
I love those rings and that handle.
Yeah, I got that from my grandfather's garage when he passed away. And then the handle is actually a piece of an oak curtain rod. So it's got a little hodgepodge of stuff in there. And then the IT department, Mike Lee, they did the sticker for me on both sides. And the seat is actually a piece of wood out of the bleachers of Old Elkhorn Middle School. So it's
True
I got one
community
board left.
caboose.
I had about 400 of them, and that was the second to last one. So it's about
It's awesome.
12 years of scrap wood.
And then you all were able to bring Mr. Bogey's daughter and son-in-law out to see it? How did that go?
Oh,
So
they're great. Great people.
they were emotionally blown away by
Because
this.
they didn't know what was happening, right?
But no, they did
That's
not.
awesome.
But Mike, the son-in-law, had asked me, he said, "You think you'll be able to do anything with that caboose that Alvin started?" And I said, "Well," and so that kind of triggered it. I called
That's
JW
awesome.
and he said, "I got you." So
It was fun.
it's great to have a fun project. Students, I think, did they do any of the painting?
Oh, yeah.
Were they,
They
so,
glued, they held stuff while I was clamping and gluing. That whole roof was a lot of gluing, and
so the great thing is, I mean, it was many hands were involved in that, and Mr. Bogey's vision will continue to move on, which is a great thing.
And Mr. Bogey was big in soil conservation, right?
Yes.
That's where I remember him. He was,
Yes.
I saw him every year, even though I didn't really know him well, but he was at the metal collection thing. That was kind of his thing, right?
That was his thing.
That's what I thought, yeah. Well, every time I went up there was an older gentleman there, and I met him years ago, and he just seemed like a really cool.
he
older-
taught ag for 42 years.
Oh, is that right? That's his
Yep.
background?
Yeah.
Wow, very
And
cool.
he had an old antique tractor museum out there
Okay,
at his place,
Right
which
on.
was pretty amazing.
yeah, very cool.
So, very, very cool.
All right, thank you, guys. Squire Blackburn, well done.
Yep.
All right, Squire Sebastian, do you have other business?
I do, Judge, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
I attended a ROSM board meeting yesterday.
Okay.
And just want to bring to the court to let you have a window into the assistance that your money puts into funding agencies like this. In April, there were 37 requests approved for assistance. Out of those 37 requests for assistance, 48 adults were assisted, 35 children combined in homes. And that assistance amounted to $11,711.18. So that primarily goes to pay utilities and rent. So huge thing that we are continuing to do to help our community. So I always just try to make sure and bring information to you, and I'll just leave it there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good. Kind of on that same thing, I went to the Bluegrass CAP meeting the other night, and they've been working, they're the transport company, pretty much, runs people around to doctor's appointments and everything else, and I know we called them in to help. One of the things we're talking about with our opioid funds is transportation, and they're getting very close. I'd say by next court, we'll probably have a number that they're going to request through city and county out of opioid funds to start this whole infrastructure. But it was interesting during the board meeting, as we just went through budget meetings with our department heads, Troy Roberts made the comment, he said, their annual fuel bill per month, just in our district, which is multiple counties, is $82,000 per month. And it has jumped, last month was $114,000. So they're kind of doing like the Sheriff Depp is doing, they're looking at, everything's GPSed, and so, if people are idling too long, they let them know, and they're really just trying to look at areas to kind of, to help the fuel thing, but it's real, and so, but anyway, so hopefully, I'm hopeful by next meeting. I was meeting with Charlie Kendall yesterday, we talked to me, to have a number to bring to you all to really kind of talk about this whole infrastructure of transportation and how we can get kids to moving around after school, and how can we get parents home after work. One thing we did learn during the meeting with him is they're available to even help with some of the things that we didn't know they would help with already. That's already part of their mission. So it's been a really good meeting, and I know Amy Snow and Amelia Berry and Charlie Kendall and Troy Roberts has really been working hard on this. So just want to let you all know that will be coming to us, because I know we keep talking about it, but it's a lot to work out. So. All righty, any other business before we go into the voting session? Squire Wisman.
Judge, just a question, since you were discussing there, we'd ask for some reports from EMS or opioid funds, and we have a first reading. Necessarily don't have to make decisions on some of those organizations, so yet we were sort of up in the air about Yes Arts.
Yes Arts on that?
Well, I thought when we left the last meeting, you all had agreed to fund them at their full request amount.
Yeah, we did. I think that's what we did, yeah. I was making sure I didn't miss something, like something else.
And Amy and I met with Charlie Kendall, and I think I sent everybody an email, just basically where he told us who was funded.
Yep.
And it really, the funds that they received from the state did not eliminate all of their need. Those organizations will still need.
Their budgets were based around, different,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Squire Tanner.
I want to ask Squire Sebastian a question about Rosalind. Do they have a fixed budget, or they got enough money to help people as needed, or are they short, or et cetera?
Bring a check today, Squire?
Well, I know if I got $10 or $12 cash.
So they are sitting currently in a good position. They do a good job of, which is an encouraging thing, reaching out into the community and getting funding, as we encourage all of the agencies that we participate in. You were at the Bowls of Love last night, so you see that in action with the Capital City Activity Center, how they're working not only for grants but also for community support. So Rosam's done a great job of that. They feel that they're we discussed the budget yesterday, as a matter of fact, the upcoming budget. So they're in a good position. As anybody dealing with a nonprofit knows, that can go 7 ways sideways in 6 months, 3 months. If a catastrophe hits, or, but right now, everything as it is, they're in a good position. So very timely, perfect question.
Well, you said they spent $11,000 in April, so, you multiply that by 12, and you get, 140 or 30.
And there's a real ebb and flow. So, for example, I've got some information with me. So, July of last year, they spent $11,000. Then August, they spent $8,000. September, they spent $10,000. October, they spent $11,000.
November was 9, December was 8, and you would think sometimes in those winter months, the expenses would go up, but it typically seems to do that in the summer. A lot of seniors need air conditioning because a lot of the medication that they are on, you know, causes their body to have lots of reactions to heat. They can overheat very quickly, not drinking enough. I mean, there are lots of things. So in the winter, a lot of them know that they can wrap up in another sweater. I typically do. We keep our house cold, you know, and I wrap up in extra clothes. Summer, it's just a thing. So you're asking all the right questions. Absolutely.
Right now, with the price of fuel, as you just went through, and the affordability of things is high. I'm not gonna say it's out of control, but it may be going there. So there's gonna be more requests, not less. And you said they were in financial position enough to handle those.
That was the discussion at the moment, but that, you know, again, to your point, that is fluctuating. Things are continuing to climb. No one has that crystal ball to be able to kind of put the, you know, knowing where the ceiling's gonna be. And again, what ROSM does is they do rent assistance and they do, you know, utility assistance. So those are the things. They don't provide like funding for gas because they collaborate with other churches who provide other assistance like clothes closets and transportation and many other things to make sure that they can make somebody as whole as possible.
If you're, I don't want to, that's maybe out of range of our discussion, but you know, you can shell game money, I gotta buy gas, but I don't pay rent.
They typically try, rather than to give it to the individual, to get the bill so that they know that what the money is going for is paid to the utility provider or the rent to get to your very point.
Just see if
Yep.
they had enough money to operate, and sounds like they do.
That was
As
the
of
point
today.
yesterday. That was the discussion
They don't have a crystal
yesterday.
ball, but yeah.
That was the discussion yesterday. Yes, sir.
You good, Squire?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else other business before we go into voting? Alrighty. Clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian,
Here.
Squire Blackburn,
Present.
Squire Dykus,
Here.
Squire Harris,
Here.
Squire Tanner,
Here.
Squire Wissman,
Present.
Judge Miller.
Present. Thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of April 29, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve county clerk's claims for calculation of motor vehicles and boat bills for 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. First reading of an ordinance amending ordinance 7-2002 and 8-2000 series relating to the fiscal court filing fees in Franklin County, Kentucky. No vote at this time. Next agenda item, authorization to approve an affiliation agreement between the Franklin County Fiscal Court and the Franklin County Crime Stoppers, Inc.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an insurance of a contract with the Trace Creek Construction for construction manager service for the Franklin County Courthouse Restoration Project, and to approve a not to exceed contract amount of $458,000.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an insurance of the contract with JRA Architects for the architect/engineering services associated with the Franklin County Courthouse Restoration Project, and to not to exceed contract amount of $365,170,000 amount.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for bids for a cloud managed access control system for Franklin County Schools, COPS SVPP grant.
So moved.
Second.
Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for sealed bids for fuel bid for undyed diesel and dyed diesel.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for road department materials and bulk road de-icing salt.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
Get it, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Second reading and approval of amendment number 4 to ordinance number 4-2025 relating to budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion
Nay.
passed. I'm sorry?
Nay.
Nay, did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
Next agenda item, authorization to approve budget transfers for fiscal year 2025-2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to authorize the treasurer to open the following certificate of deposit for $770,000 for a 3-month on behalf of the fiscal court to improve investment earnings and authorize the treasurer to renew this CD at maturity at the best rate and term until the funds are needed.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the treasurer to open the following certificate of deposit for $2 million for a 3-month on behalf of the fiscal court to improve investment earnings and authorize the treasurer to renew this CD at maturity at the best rate and term until the funds are needed.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. This is the first reading of ordinance relating to the budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. No vote at this time. Next agenda item, authorization to approve annual standing order pre-approving certain reoccurring expenses.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution upon recommendation of Judge Executive Michael Muller to request an exception from State Local Finance Officer, Department of Local Governments regarding the provisions of KRS 68.310 regarding the 65% limitation on expenditures and encumbrances of the first half of fiscal year 2026-2027.
So moved. Second.
Did you get it, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the Commonwealth of Kentucky Justice Court Facilities Local Government Reimbursement Form for fiscal year 2026-2027.
So.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claim. Is there a motion to deny payment of any claim? No motion was made. Let the records reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to approve an agreement with Tailored Services for the Franklin County Courthouse and other county buildings.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for sealed bid. Hire Michelle Schwartz as Administrative Assistant to the Business Office Manager.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for environmental review services for Group 2 properties participating in the Franklin County Natural Resource Conservancy Service NRCS Emergency Watershed Protection EWP Home Buyout Program.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. At this time, we are going to recess for our road trip and we will adjourn after the road trip. So we are recessed. Thank you, Court. Great meeting.